Hi everyone, this is Moo. I wanted to give you a quick introduction of myself just so that you know who I am, and I hope that this leads to conversations and me getting to know the same information about you. So let's get started. I will say up front that I want to be brief because I know you have a lot of other videos to watch. So the purpose is to share some information about myself, the purpose of my role, and my personal goals for the year. Just a brief background. I'm 42 years old. I turned 43 in January, which I'm not looking forward to. Although I've lived all over the United States, I call Virginia my home. I graduated from Highland Springs High School in Richmond in 1996, and I lived in Northern Virginia for 7 years prior to coming here. So Northern Virginia is my home. My father is from the Philippines and my mom is from Korea. This is why I look so Asian. My father was a dual citizen, so when he turned 18, he had to choose one or the other, and he picked the U.S. citizenship. He joined the Air Force, which is why I moved all over the U.S. Met my mom in Korea, and then moved to Arizona, where I was born. To give you a little information about my family, my lovely, amazing wife Dee is from the Philippines, but she speaks English fluently. We've been married almost 8 years now. January will be our 8-year anniversary. We have two amazing children. Jade, our daughter, will be going into grade 1 this year at St. Paul, and Evan will be going into kindergarten this year. And I've shared here that Jade is high functioning autistic, and Evan has compulsivity concerns. So, for example, he will just run when it's not safe if he sees something that he's really got to have. Or so he's going to begin the year with a shadow teacher while he continues to go through therapy. And then Jade is high functioning autistic. She is now independent for the most part, and she's fine when she knows the routines of the day. Sometimes she might look lost or confused, and so if you happen to see her in that state, I ask that you give her a nudge in the right direction. I believe I'm sharing this with you because I believe that it takes a community to raise children, and so anything you can help my children with, I would greatly appreciate it. They're the joys of my life. Just a bit about my professional background. So, not a lot of people know this, but I grew up wanting to be a police officer. I wanted it really bad. And when I graduated high school, I was really bummed that I had to wait 3 years to apply to be a police officer because in most states you have to be 21. College was not an option for me. I did not do well at all in high school, and I just couldn't afford it. And so when an Army recruiter told me that I could be a police officer in the Army, I jumped at the opportunity. I did that for 6 years. I have a ton of respect for people that do law enforcement. It just wasn't the right job for me. And so when I got out, I very briefly got into business. My family has a big business background, but I hate dealing with money. Like if you ever eat with me, when it comes time to settle the bill, it's a very uncomfortable thing for me. And so going to business was not in the cards either. So I then looked into teaching because I love the job that teachers do. I've taught in elementary, and kindergarten is my favorite grade because I just love those aha moments when a kindergarten student finally understands something. I was a principal here at St. Paul for 4 years. And so when I started that, I started my doctorate program, and I just finished that a couple months ago. And I do have a valid administrative services credential through DC, which I have to renew because it expires next year. So my personal mission in life is to serve my God, family, friends, and community to the best of my ability every day. My core values are loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. I put the first letters of each word in bold because they are the Army core values. I just adopted them for my whole life. But the first letters in bold are an abbreviation of leadership. So every day I do a self-assessment in a journal, and I answer two questions. Did I meet my mission, and did I compromise my values? And I do that every day. My role, so just very briefly, because I don't want to bore you too much, but my role is to report directly to the CEO and Board of Management. And this is a new position, and so we we're in that growing phase where we're trying to figure out who does what and what are the roles and responsibilities. And so I ask for your patience in that regard. We will make it more efficient for you. I am responsible for the overall leadership and management of the school. I am responsible for creating and implementing a strategic direction of the school, and I'm going to say it, we don't have a stated strategic plan. Nothing's ever been put on paper. We don't know what we hope to accomplish in the next few years, and so I signed a contract to serve as executive director for the next 5 years, and my goal is to help us create a very explicit strategic direction so that we can focus on meeting the needs of our students. And I provide supervision and support for the school principals. My personal goals for the year, I have 3. So the first is for us to be mission-oriented and data-driven. I personally believe in the power of having an entire organization rally and focus around a mission. And so I want us to be the same. We may even review our mission to see if it matches what we do every day. And I want us to be more data-driven. I think it's very important for us to establish a system of collecting data in every area of our school so that we can focus on creating goals and objectives for improving our school. As a previous principal, so I'll use last year as an example, when Dave was the secondary principal, I was the elementary principal, and we kind of answered to the CEO. That setup on paper looked okay, but in reality, Dave and I did a lot of head of school jobs, tasks, and those kind of pulled us away from achievement and culture in our respective schools. And so I've always asked for us to have an executive director so that the principals can focus on achievement and culture. And now we have that chance. And so I've already asked Doug and Tila to focus on that because that's what matters the most. And I want to establish systems and frameworks for our school. I think we can be more efficient. I think things need to be clearer for you so that you can do your jobs and not have to worry about things like how do we process stuff. And so my goal is to make it more efficient for you. Thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit more about me. I hope I have an opportunity to learn about you. I want to learn about your background. I want to learn what your personal mission is in life. And I want to know what your goals are because I feel a strong responsibility to help you achieve what it is you strive for. So thanks for your attention.